Wife Material Podcast, Episode 7, Love and Security. Well, it's very important, for a woman to love a man and vice versa. For women, obviously they definitely want love as much as possible. And, we all deserve it, right? We all deserve love. But you got to understand how men and women show love, right? How they actually love love. Like the way they feel or think when it comes to love. Women being nice to a man is love to a man. Woman who's, willing to have sexy time is love to a man. A woman that's willing to have children for that man and that man only, that's love to a man. A woman, it's, being kind, yes, that's a factor. Being a nice guy, being a caring guy, always doing your best to keep an eye out on the woman, making sure the woman is safe. That's where the security comes in. Showing that she, a man, paying attention to a woman when if she's sick, he'll notice and he'll try to do something about it. If the woman, looks like she's bored, he'll ask, what's wrong, and try to see if he can solve the problem. Because the thing is, guys, on average, are problem solvers. Guys always need something to do. You have to understand that guys need things to do. All right, women, they want to do everything, but guys just need something to do. You know what I mean? So, like taking out the trash, reaching something. If we're somewhere and you need me to reach up and grab something, guys like to feel useful. Feeling. That's how we feel. That's how we feel special, right? A guy being nice to a woman, and saying nice things and paying attention to her. That is her. That's how she feels special. But the way a man feels special is his usefulness. So, a man does like to be used in a beneficial way, of course, not in a, materialistic way where we get used for our money and our time and energy and physical capabilities, but have no appreciation for it, no returning of the contributions, right? We expect you to, give us back what we give you, basically. Not equal, not the same exact thing, obviously. If we're nice to you, we do expect you to be nice back, but we do expect the niceness to be of a different variety, right? Because that's just the way we function. That's what matters to us. We like it when we get positive affirmation for what we did, right? You can say, that I'm cute or something, right? I appreciate it. That's nice. If I don't get told I'm cute or something on a weekly basis, monthly basis, or even yearly basis, then it is greatly appreciated because of how rare it is, right? But saying that I did something great or compared to someone else, that I am better than someone else, these are things that, we definitely appreciate more. Saying that I did a good job fixing something. So if you ask me to do something and I do it, and you tell me I did a great job doing it, that's a good idea, right? That's what you should do because, that is what makes us feel special. It's the fact that we know we did good. And we strive to do good, right? We're not perfect. Men and women, not perfect, right? But a natural thing for men is to try to be, better. Always try to do better. Do we always succeed? Not always. But it definitely doesn't help to that process of a man doing better if you're constantly putting him down. If you're constantly putting a man down, he's not motivated to get better, right? Because men are based off of logic. So if you keep putting a man down, if you keep saying that a man is not good at stuff, eventually, and it's not feelings, that eventually he's just going to start believing that he's not good. Because, logic, right? The idea like, well, if this person keeps saying over and over and over again that I am not good at something, then I may never be good. Now, granted, the man will try to be better at that thing that he's being told he's not good at. But if but even when he's trying, he's putting effort, and he still keeps getting the whole he's not good at it, then eventually he's going to give up, because it's only logical. It's like, why keep trying if you keep failing? Because that just means you're trying the wrong thing over and over again. And obviously that would never lead to success, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, right? Common sense, right? So men will always try something different. And that's why sometimes you might get in a scenario where a guy, just is like, you know what, I don't want to be in this relationship no more. And then you'll be wondering, well, why? What's wrong? And of course you'll try to blame it on him, but don't realize it was actually you that made it that way. You're not understanding that, constantly putting the idea that he is not really good at a lot of things, and he could definitely not be good at those things. I'm not saying that he wasn't good at those things. It was just the fact that to you it was a big deal to keep mentioning that he wasn't good at those things. And logically, he shouldn't be in a situation if he's not good at it. Right? Just like if he's not, if anybody, man or woman, if you're not good at a job, like let's say you're not good at flipping burgers at McDonald's, then why be at McDonald's, right? They should fire you because you're not good at flipping burgers, right? So when you're not good at something, it makes sense for you to go do something you are good at. So of course, men are always looking for a place to be, a place they can be where they are good at. So they will try to find a relationship with a woman where they are most useful. This is part of why men, even though we have, women have the ability to make money, as much as men, right? Rather, they still want to be the one who makes the money because they're not making the money for themselves. They want to make the money, be the main breadwinner because they want to share it and they want to feel useful. Women see it differently. They see a man having money and them not having money is the man trying to have control and independence. It's like, no, the man wants to be useful. If both people have money, then there's no use, right? How can I? It's the idea of I can't give somebody something they already have. I can't give somebody happiness if they're already happy. I can't give somebody money if they already have money. Like I could do it, like I could physically give you money, but would you care? Not really. You already have money. There's times where people owe me money, and they'll be like, "Oh man, yeah, I know I still owe you that $20 and this and that." And sometimes I'll be like I have like $2,000 in the bank. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. That's cool. You don't have to owe me no more, and I cleared the debt right there and then. Just because I got money. It's like, you know what? That $20 is not even that big of a deal. You know what I mean? Like I don't need it back. If I needed money, then yes, that money would matter. It's like, well, I do need that 20. I gave it to you to help you, and now I need the 20. It'd be nice to get it back. But when I got money, it's like, yeah, I don't care, because money is just a tool. So I don't care when I got money. When I don't got money, is when of course I would care. It's like, yeah, it would be appreciative to get that money back, because I can use it too. But ultimately, it don't matter because I'm not greedy. If I have money, I don't need this extra money. That'll just be greedy for me. Like, yeah, give me the 20 anyway. Yeah, even though I got 2,000 in the bank. Like, you know what I mean? That'd be ridiculous. That's just how I operate. Most people operate this way, but not many. Most people are greedy. There's billionaires that still want, to get $1 million, even though they're billionaires. Like, but you don't need this $1 million. Let somebody else get the million, you selfish bastard. But anyway, that's for something else. But love, right? We men and women, we show our love in different ways. Women is more it's more biological, feelings, right? Feelings, biology. It's more biological. Men, their theirs is more um, physical, right? The way of expressing love is more physical, which is why it's not surprising that men, love sex, because we're more physical, as well as having a house, a car, money, being able to solve problems, being able to lift things, physical, right? Men are more physical, so that's not surprising. So for men and women to be able to get along and coexist, right, and function together, is you have to understand both sides. Men understand women are emotional. Men are the main ones talking about women are emotional. But most women want to argue back and be like, nah, I'm logical too. Like, you have some logic, of course. But your main, the main determining factor of your decisions comes from your feelings, does not come from logic. You do not ignore your feelings. You don't do the opposite of what you feel. You wouldn't do something that makes you feel sad or feel bad. You only do things that make you feel good. That's the problem. So if slapping a guy makes you feel good, you'll slap the guy, even though logically that's wrong. But if it makes you feel good, I've had scenarios where I let women slap me because it would have made them feel better. They were mad at me about something stupid. Maybe I said they weren't my type or something, and now they're mad at me. It's like, okay, you're mad at me because you're not my type. I mean, I'm entitled to have a type, but okay. And I've been in scenarios where I offered, if I let you slap me, will that make you feel better? And their response was yes. And they slapped me. It did resolve the situation. The situation is no longer a thing. Apparently they're happy, but it's like, but really though, I had to get assaulted, right? That was an assault. Even though I, gave consent, it still was an assault, because it's like, did I really have to get slapped just because somebody else's feelings? That's not right. But it's how I solved that's the compromise I made. I took the hit, literally, just so somebody else can feel better. Think about it. Does that make any logical sense? In a woman's point of view? Because a woman wouldn't be quick to offer a guy, go ahead, slap me if it'll make you feel better, and leave it at that. No. If they did offer that and the guy did slap her, bang, cops get involved. Like shit gets blown out of proportion. Like, whoa, I had to take the slap and just leave it at that. What the hell? Why can't, I'm not saying I want women to give me permission to slap them or anything. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, look how far I had to go just because of somebody else's feelings. So clearly, it would have been better for her to let it go without slapping me. But no, she had to slap me, to let it go. Her feelings. So there's that. But anyway, that's for a story for another time, right? But love. We show love differently. And understand that you want love, but you also want security. We get it. It sucks to hear women talking about that they're against relationships and ultimately against marriage, or just long-term relationship. Marriage, long-term relationship, it's the same thing to me, because they're afraid of abuse. They're afraid they won't be safe. That's where the security comes in, right? Safe, and it's like, that's unfortunate. They feel you won't be safe, and it's not because for a fact that certain guys that you're in relationships with or associating yourself with are the type of guy that you can't be safe with. No, it's just because men, you just classify as that. Men can't be trusted. Men are liars. Men aren't safe. Men will hurt you. And it's like, no, that's not a guarantee. And this is what I'm going to segue into the main thing of security, is that it's very important for women to defend themselves. I've been trying to get women to do this for a long time. It's ironic that, especially in this day and age, women are against the idea of defending themselves, against the idea of learning self-defense. They rather the world just doesn't try to hurt them, right? Just like I learned self-defense to try to prevent certain bad things happening to them, when the bad things should just not happen. It's like, we agree, it'd be nice bad things don't happen, but it's hard to prevent. It's hard for that to happen, right? If something bad's going to happen, it's going to happen, right? You have very little control if a car, if a car suddenly hits you, because we don't know the circumstances in which why you got hit by a car. It could have been your fault. It could have been the driver's fault. It could have been the vehicle's fault. It could have been God's fault. Whatever. It could have been anything. Any number of factors could have led to you getting hit by a car. But you being aware, you being alert, you being understanding that it could happen, and prepare, yourself, to avoid getting hit by a car, will greatly increase your chances of not getting hit by a car. Same thing as if you don't want to be in an abusive relationship, you should learn to be able to prevent yourself from being in an abusive relationship. Not just totally avoid relationships, period. That is a solution, not the solution, right? That is a way you can avoid being in an abusive relationship. But you know what that also does? That prevents you from being in a non-abusive relationship. And that's a problem. So don't avoid relationships just because bad relationships exist, because good relationships exist too. The idea is to find one. You also have to understand men have to deal with this too, not just women. Men have to deal with being in a relationship with a full woman, and she's the abuser. Men consider that. The thing is, men tend to get themselves out of those situations more often than not. But if they stay, well, we know it's on them. It's their fault. And as a man, I understand why they might stay in an abusive relationship, because there are benefits that they feel outweighs the abuse. But other than that, logically, you should leave. But if the man's willing to accept the situation of, hey, the benefits outweigh the negatives, then it is a logic. It's logical. It's irrational is what I'm saying. It's irrational to stay in an abusive relationship, but it's logical if the benefits outweigh the abuse, right? That's what I'm saying. When it comes to guys, women, you definitely should not be in an abusive relationship, regardless if the benefits outweigh the abuse. But it is up to you. So I'm not going to tell you not to be in an abusive relationship if you prefer it. If you're okay with it, then that's on you. I'm just saying that logically, rationally, you should try to get out of it. But I've seen time and time again that women tend to not get out of those types of relationships sooner than later. And sometimes it's obvious that the relationship was going that direction beforehand. And yes, I'm going to say it, a lot of times women do create that environment, do create that type of relationship. It's not just that, oh, it just happened. No, a lot happened that led up to that. There are scenarios where it happens without you doing something to cause it, but there are scenarios where you did. And that's the thing. There's two sides to every coin. Every situation, there's two variants of it. There's you're a victim and did nothing wrong, and you're a victim and you did do something wrong, which is why you got victimized. There is such thing as that. I hate the whole idea of trying to make it seem like, no, there's only, there's a victim and then there's a person who victimized. That's it. There's no that the victim did something wrong. It's like, no, the victim definitely could do something wrong. The victim definitely could be put themselves in a position to be a victim. That is an actual thing. Let's not bullshit and try to erase that fact. That's a fact. That most victims allow themselves to be victims in the first place. This is why I encourage women in general, self-defense. Not only women, but here's the thing. Inherently, most men already have to defend themselves and already think about defending themselves. And there's time, and mathematically, I've been in scenarios where I had to. What I'm saying is, I've been hit by women more than I've ever been hit by other men. So the idea of like, oh, men, violent men always want to hit things and people and women. I've been hit by women more than by men. I'm prepared more so to defend myself against men, of course, but from my personal experience in life, I've had to take a lot of assaults from women more than that. And I'm talking about physical, not to mention verbal, yeah. Verbally, I've been abused more by women than men, obviously. But that's for a different conversation. The point is that, I other men typically don't want to be in confrontation with me anyway. But ironically, small, adorable little women love to assault me for some reason. It's cute to a certain degree. I think it's cute, but that's for a different conversation. But still, it's not right to hit nobody. Whether you're man or male or female, no one should be hitting each other because it's just wrong. You're literally inflicting damage and pain upon another person. That ain't right. Like, I know how to defend myself. I know how to hurt people if need be for defensive purposes, and I'm not a violent person. I prefer to talk things through, compromise. I definitely, master the art of compromise, which is why I mentioned the story of letting a woman hit me to make her happy as a compromise. It's better than me going back and forth, arguing, me trying to reason with her, and me telling her she's wrong and all this extra stuff, because I was definitely not going to win that battle of reason or logic, because women, again, don't use logic to make decisions. She just would have been in her feelings, and yeah, that would have just made things worse. And remember, the only reason she hit me is because she felt a certain way. It was not logical to hit me, but it made her feel better to hit me. So there's that. But security is very important when women learn self-defense. I love the time where Attapoll was a trend. Oh man, loved it. I'm like, yes, finally, women, learning self-defense, and it definitely motivated me to want to, teach, my sisters and stuff like that. Females in my family and females that I, date and associate with, female friends, which are very rare because I don't really have female friends, but people, females that I see and associate with, definitely trying to teach them, self-defense, and Attapoll was a great way for them to, learn the self-defense, but also get in shape. And I love that idea of combining the two. The best way to teach women self-defense was through fitness, because women cared about their health, cared about being, healthier, prettier, whatever. They actually did care about their bodies. That to me was self-love. Now we got this bullshit where women overweight talking about self-love. Like, no, there ain't no self-love. Real self-love was Attapoll, exercise. That was self-love. Eating healthy. While all these guys eating all these burgers and shit and gaining weight. Which was wrong, of course, but I'm saying that's the point. Gaining weight and stuff, you see women eating salads and eating fruits and vegetables, looking amazing. A lot of guys, realize, you know what? I want to be healthy too. And I want to be with those women right there. They're hot. So guys lift weights and stuff, and, started becoming a thing. Guys lifting weights, trying to outperform each other and stuff like that, made it a competition to, be in better shape to get more girls' attention. And that was a good thing because everybody was healthier. I miss those days. Shit, I was in better shape those days. I'm trying to get that back. I'm trying to bring sexy back. So I definitely want to encourage people to get back to exercise and working out. So I'm working on that, working on videos on losing weight and this, that, and third, and putting on muscles, if you're a man. For women, different. It is important. I do always encourage women to do, lift some heavy weights just so you can actually have the physical strength. You don't need the muscular shape and stuff like that. You don't need to look like a bodybuilder. But I do agree that women should literally be actually strong, have the ability to lift a couple heavy things here and there, because it is ridiculous that women out here talking about they're strong, independent, and whatnot, right? But it's like, but are you strong? You don't look strong. And whenever we see them not be strong, we do clown them for that. You know what I mean? Because fair is fair. Because when a guy talking about he's strong, he's Superman, but could barely lift 10 pounds, we'll laugh at him. So yes, we will laugh at you ladies as well. Talking about you strong, independent, but could barely, carry bags of groceries or something. Like, come on, that's ridiculous. Don't say you're strong if you're not actually strong. Strong has to actually do with your physical capabilities of doing things. Strength is not your imagination and make believe and what you believe. And yelling at somebody is not strength. Yelling is not strength. Raising your voice is not strength. Catching an attitude is not strength. It's just being an asshole. But anyway, so people used to want love, used to love, right? They look for love. Ultimately, you're supposed to be finding the one, and sometimes a woman would, from what I've seen, will end up with a guy. It doesn't work out, and then she doesn't want to continue to try to find the one guy to spend the rest of her life with. She'd just be like, oh, all men are the same. No. The way it's supposed to be is you find the one man who isn't the same, right, in your viewpoint, and there you go. You're supposed to find the one for you. Not every man's supposed to be the one. Not every man has to live up to your standards. You just need one man to live up to your standards. You don't need every man to live up to your standards. And the problem is most women want to generalize. They want to be like, no, every man has to live up to my standards, or there are no good men. No bullshit. Every man is different, different standard-wise, right? Different in what makes them different, but yeah, we're all the same. As in, men are men, women are women, right? That's what we have. It's the same, but all men are the same, as in they're all men physically, not necessarily mentally, but physically and socially. But there are variations within that group, of men. There's variations. There's men who are boys. There's men who are men. There's men who don't want to do shit. So there's not much you can do with a man who doesn't want to do shit, because he's neither going to be a great husband or a great boyfriend or whatnot, but he's also not going to be a terrible boyfriend or husband. The main thing is he's neutral. He's not. He doesn't do anything. He just exists. It's like, damn, that's a waste of a man, right? A man that exists but doesn't meet up to any standard, right? Doesn't meet up to being an awesome guy or a shitty guy. He's just in the middle, right? So you got to understand that there are variations to men. Same goes for there's variations to women. What men have in common, yes, all men want to have sex. Good boys, bad boys, even neutral boys, right? Or neutral men, right? Good men, bad men. We all, sex. That is what we have all in common, but we have variations of that. We like different things than each other, but ultimately, sex, right? Women, financial just how a man makes you feel. It's more about feelings than anything. So if a man makes you feel happy because he's a billionaire, then okay, then he's your type. Well, that's how you feel, right? That's your equivalent version of a guy who wants to be with a woman that's attractive, right? So security is important to understand that when you're in a relationship with a man, he is your first line of defense. He's your first layer of protection, but you still got to be able to protect yourself. I really hate the idea that most women out here are not trying to protect themselves. It really concerns me that women rather have the world be a safe space than to make sure that they themselves are the safe space. That no matter where they are on this planet or in this universe, that they themselves can keep themselves safe. That really concerns me. That they expect the universe to be extra nice to them, to treat them an exemption to shit can't happen type of scenario. That's unfortunate when women have that delusion that bad shit should never happen to them. It's like, but men live their whole lives with the idea that shit is always going to happen to them. That's why when something nice happens to them, it's a surprise and it's refreshing. That's why when a woman compliments a guy, it's a big deal. So don't be surprised that if you be nice to a guy, that he, suddenly is in love with you. Don't be surprised. It just means a whole bunch of other women weren't nice to him. Think about that. Don't be an asshole and be like, oh, why is he acting like this? Just because I was being nice to him doesn't mean I want him. I want to have sex with him. Just because of that, just because you see it that way, understand where he's coming from. He's coming from the viewpoint that women typically are not nice to him. So you being nice to him made you special, made you the one, right? Because again, like I was saying before, we all, men and women, are looking for the one among the rest, So that's what you're supposed to do. That's the whole idea of finding the one and getting married and this and that. Because once you find the right guy, that's the guy to marry. You don't just marry just any guy. And you definitely gotta make sure that you're the one for them. Because a woman will be like, oh, he's the one for me. Yes, I'll marry you. But then the relationship doesn't work out. And of course, she'll blame him, but doesn't realize, no, it's actually you. You were not the one for him. He made a mistake marrying you, thinking you were the one, but you actually weren't, though. Now, he was the one, which is why you accepted the marriage, but logically, you were not the one. You're not the one, because that's why the marriage didn't work out. You were not the one. There's scenarios where the woman cheated on the man. It's like, well, that's proof right there. You're not the one. You cheated. So the relationship is now ending because of it. But he was the one who made the bad choice, right? He married the wrong one. Just like we say women choose poorly, yeah, men can choose poorly too. But here's the difference though, right? The way men view women, right? The way men judge women is on the outside. We believe what we see. Seeing is believing. We believe what we see. So if we see an attractive woman, we see a woman that looks good on the outside, we assume she's good on the inside. Until we find out that no, she's ugly on the inside. She's a piece of shit on the inside. Right? Women, the opposite. Women, will look at a guy like, oh, he's not attractive. But then he makes jokes, makes her laugh, and he says nice things to her, like, oh my God, he's so awesome. Feelings. His personality is what attracts you now. It's what makes you like him. Right? But then later on, if he's no longer making you laugh, he's no longer saying nice things to you, suddenly you lose interest in him. It's not like he's being an asshole or abusive or anything. He's not doing anything wrong per se. It's just that the things that made you like him are no longer there per se. It's the same thing as me being with a woman who was a size 6, and suddenly now she's a size 60, right? It's like, oh man, one of the many things I loved about you is no longer there. So now I'm losing it. But it's because of the things you did that made me lose it. And it wasn't like anything major. It's not like you're not a good person, blah, 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 blah. It's not like you don't give me sexy time no more. It's just like one of the main things that got me with you is gone. And that can trigger the downfall. Same thing as a guy who at first said nice things to you all the time, made you laugh all the time, stop saying nice things to you all the time. It's not that he doesn't have nice things to say, it's just he doesn't say it no more. And he doesn't make you laugh no more because he's busy doing this and that. So since things are different than what you remember, that is what you're judging him on. You're judging him on the past. It's like, well, he used to do these things, now he's not. Therefore, there's a problem. And it's like, you see it that way, but that's not what really is going on. It's not really a problem per se, but I agree that but it's something that can be fixed, and I agree that it can be. You should try. So if you want the guy to make you laugh and say nice things to you, tell him. It is your responsibility to tell him how you feel and how important it is that he makes you laugh, that he says nice things to you, because that's what made you fall in love with him in the first place. That's why you got together, was because of those factors. So make sure he understands that he needs to at least try to maintain that. That's important. Same thing, a guy needs to make sure he lets the woman that he likes know that, hey, your size 6 was a big factor that we're, together. You might want to maintain that. You can change anything else you want. Change your hair, change the things you like to eat. It's fine, as long as it doesn't change that factor, that size 6 thing. I mean, you could go to like size 6 or maybe 8. Life happens, especially through pregnancy. We can make that. We can accept that. You know what I mean? We're not, because we understand that's logical. Like, obviously, you get pregnant, you're going to gain some sizes. But the thing is, at least try to control it. Try to keep it from not going too far. You can't be like, oh, I got pregnant, that's why I gained weight. No, it's the fact that you keep eating all these wedding cakes every day is why you're big. It's not because of our 20-year-old son. That was 20 years ago you were pregnant. How do you justify it now being so big? That's an excuse. So no. All we're saying is just be logical. You know what I mean? Like, and that's when I say for women to do better or to be better, I'm talking about like be more logical. It's like you can have your feelings. We're not saying women shouldn't have feelings. And we understand that women have feelings and they're going to make decisions based off of their feelings. All we're saying, though, however, is try to add some logic to it. Try to make sure that your feelings are reasonable. Sometimes women's feelings are not reasonable. Like, they're unnecessary. Like, they're just exaggerated. And, we all understand that obviously creates problems. And it creates problems more so for the woman, because then women end up in situations where they're alone. And women need, as regardless as they think they don't need no man, no blah, 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 you still need company, right? That's why most women gets cats, cat ladies. Think about cat ladies are cat ladies for a reason, right? That's why we use that term, cat lady. Is because they have a whole bunch of cats, because they need company, they need affection, they need something to love and something to love them back. But they don't need no man, which is why they don't have one. But if they got a man, they wouldn't need all them cats. The man would be more than enough to love them back and give them something to love. You don't hear about no cat man. We only have the term cat lady because that's the only scenario that happens. Men just need things to do. And in the older years, a man who's single he'll spend money, he'll spend time, he'll talk a lot, he'll try to find something to do. That's the difference, right? Men need something to do. Women need something to love. That's why women love babies, right? The babies are precious. It's something, and that's why women, gravitate to pets and stuff, cats and dogs and stuff like that, when they don't got a man to love. But it's unfortunate that, women are settling for pets over relationships, over love. And it's like, to me, that's laziness, because it's like, the right guy for you, he's out there. You just got to find him. And not only that, you got to be available. What I mean find him is you got to be available. You got to be out there so he can find you, because trust me, he's looking for you. For years, I've been looking for the one. I've been looking for my future wife, as they say, right? So I'm definitely looking for my wife. But it's hard to find if she's deliberately hiding. It's hard to find my wife if she, had a couple relationships that didn't work out. Well, they didn't work out. They weren't supposed to work out. They're not the one. I'm the one. So, of course, they weren't supposed to work out. They were just supposed to be trial runs. They were supposed to give you the ability to practice, being in a relationship. Learn what you need to learn to be able to be my wife. That's all it is. All these guys you met was just practice. But now you don't want to practice anymore. Now you want to give up. Now you're like, oh, ain't no good men out there, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, I'm out here. I'm out here. And the thing is, I'm doing the best I can to make sure that I'm at the level that I need to be for you. All I ask is that you are ready for me. That's it. Hope you're ready for me. Hope you're looking, right? Hope you're making yourself available. What I mean looking is make sure you're looking around to see where the guys are at, where men are going to be at. Because that's where I'm going to be at, right? So if I make a habit of going to clubs, I'm not saying I want women going to clubs. Not a big fan of the whole club thing, but because a lot of issues can happen from the whole club thing. But if I'm going to clubs, right, then you might find me there. Or if I'm going to a library, then you might find me there. You get the idea. Like, I'll do my best to be out there. Well, here's the thing. I'll be on the internet, that's for sure. So I'll definitely make myself available to be seen, heard, right, through the internet. So you can try to find me that way. That's for sure. So that's one way to find me, would be on the internet. And of course, I'm open to finding the one around the world, because I don't believe my future wife is where it exists where I live. I live in Philadelphia, so I doubt my future wife lives here. My future wife is probably somewhere else around the world, so I gotta make myself available and find her, make sure that she can find me, and then we can connect, right? So good thing the world is connected, so there's a higher chance that I'll find the one instead of the second one or the third one, fourth one. I don't want an 8th place trophy wife as well, right? I don't want 8th place. I want 1st place. I want the number one wife, right? The one for me. I don't want to settle for anything else, which is why it's very important that women need to choose better. They need to make sure that they're putting effort to find the one instead of just trying to make anyone the one. And that's the problem. I see that happen a lot, that women expect any guy they get into a relationship to be the one. They think just because they chose this guy, like, oh yeah, I like him, he's the one. No. You like him. That's nice. Get to know him, get date him and stuff like that, and see if he is the one. You need to see if he's the one, not think he is the one. Problem is, women think that women have what is it called? They have expectations. They have expectations, and when the man doesn't live up to their expectations, then it's the man's fault. No, your expectations were not based on reality. You didn't try to see what kind of man you're dealing with. You already thought that the man was a certain way, and then when you find out he wasn't that way, then you blame him, not yourself. It's like, well, you gotta blame yourself for thinking this guy, is single, when in reality he's married. That's your fault for thinking he was single. And if you asked him if he was married and he told you, "Nah, I'm single," and you believed it right off the bat without even having doubts and trying to confirm it and try to make sure there's proof that he's single. No, you just believe that he's single, and then later on, oh shit, he's actually married? I did not know. No, bullshit. You didn't want to know. That's the point. You didn't want to know. Because if you wanted to know if he was single or not, if he was married or not, you would have made sure you found out if he was married or not. Somebody out there around you would have known the answer to that question, would know if he was married or not, and they would have told you. But you didn't try to find out if he was or not. That's the point. Just like women typically don't try to find out if a man's actually being nice, actually is a nice guy, or he's just being nice. Like he's a bad boy pretending to be a good boy. You know what I mean? And that's, a bad boy, pretending to be a nice guy. Because there was a time where girls always picked the bad boy. The good boys always telling the girl to stop picking the bad boys. Like, yo, these guys you keep dating are bad guys. They're not the ones. Of course they keep breaking your heart. Of course they keep hurting your feelings. Of course they keep chasing other women. That it was obvious, and we already told you that. I wouldn't do that aka I'm the good guy, I'm the nice guy, right? So why don't you give us nice guys a chance? Oh, you don't want to give the nice guy a chance. You still want to keep picking the bad boy, but then keep coming back to the nice guy crying about it. And then when you finally want to give the nice guy a try, well, it's already too late. I'm already in a relationship. I'm already with another woman. Come on. When the opportunity presents itself, when a nice guy comes up to you and gives you the opportunity to try a nice guy relationship, a genuine nice guy relationship, you're always quick to turn it down because you prefer the scenario where you think some guy would be a good guy, the right guy, as opposed to giving a guy who is telling you he is the right guy a shot. You know what I mean? It's not that hard to compare. All you have to do is look at the guy you like and the guy you don't like and see what makes them different. It's like, yeah, what you don't like about this guy here is probably because he's overweight. Oh, he's overweight? That's why you don't like him. It's not that he's not attractive. Like, it's not like he doesn't have a cute face or anything like that, right? He's relatively handsome. He's nice. He gets good grades in class and school and stuff. Or let's just say he has a job and a car. Like, he has a lot of good qualities that are obvious, but he's overweight. So that matters to you more than anything else he has to offer. But you look at the other guy who looks great, but he doesn't have all those things. You never seen him drive a car. Never hear him talk about doing anything like having a job or doing some type of activity that was meaningful. You just saw that he looked good, and you just, I like him. He turns me on, and then bang. So you end up making a decision the way men make decisions, but don't realize that that's not how it works. See, you use his outside appearance to judge him because his outside appearance made you feel some type of way, instead of his personality, who he is on the inside, making you feel some type of way. We understand women make decisions based off of their emotions, which is why we want them to use it properly. Things women tend to use that wrong. So look at a guy, he looks good, bang, makes you feel some type of way, bang, and you make a decision based off of that because he made you feel good. But it was based off of his looks. It wasn't based off of who he is as a person. Once you find out his personality is shitty, then the feelings go away, and then you regret being with him. Well, you use your feelings the wrong way to judge him. You were supposed to get to know him, ask him questions. I expect women to ask me questions every chance they get to know me. And if I, say the right things, then they can make decisions, if they want to be in a relationship with me based off of that. But to just look at me and be like, nah, he's not my type, and then just walk away, it's like, damn, you're judging me based off of my looks? Well, that's not how you function. You don't get into relationships or stay in relationships largely based off of looks. It's usually how you feel. That's the deciding factor for you when it comes to relationships. Men make decisions based off of outer appearance, the look. That's why a man will have a shirt for like 20, 30, 40 years because he likes the way it looks. Because he likes the way it looks. Even though there's way better shirts that were created within those 20 years, he just likes the way it looks, so he'll stay with it. Same thing he'll stay with the same woman for many, many years if she looks a certain way. If she looks the way she did when they first met, for 20 plus years, he'll stay with her. When she starts changing, well, you know what's going to happen. No surprise if he decides he wants something else. Because what he liked changed. But men don't tend to like a lot of things changing. Men themselves don't change that much. Which is why if a man's an asshole, when you first start dating him, he'll always be an asshole. Right? But as if he's legitimately an asshole. Remember, you can't pretend to be nice or an asshole. But I'm saying it's like if you if you look at a man from a distance and see how he interacts with other people, if you see he, acts nice to some people but an asshole to other people, well, then you need to find out why he's an asshole to some of these other people, and then you'll get to know the real him. And more likely he's just an asshole. He's just pretending to be nice to these other people, but typically he's just an asshole. And that's not the guy you want to deal with. But if you just see a guy always being nice, no matter who he interacts with, he's always nice, there's a high chance he's just a nice person. And that's who you want, right? You want the nice guy. You want the good guy. Well, we believe you do, because a lot of times you say you want a good man, but do you even know what a good man is? And that's the problem. You need to know what a good man is in order to have a good man. You just think just because the mans you deal with and, you ended up, stop liking them, that made them bad. It's like, no, you just stopped liking them. That was on you. It wasn't really on them. It was on you. You probably misjudged them. Or you had, like I said, high expectations. You expected them to be a certain way, but then they weren't that way. I mean, I've experienced this a couple of times. And I always do my best that when a woman up front with me tell me, certain things and acts a certain way, I'm like, because one of my exes, it made it obvious that she was really into the idea of a guy having a lot of money. And it's like, you like a guy having a lot of money. Not against that. I am working towards that goal, but it's like, yeah, it seems like you think I make a lot of money, more than I really do. Like, I make money, yes, but not as much as you think I do. And you probably want me to make more, and which is okay, but it's just the fact that, again, expectations meets reality, right? So you expect me to be a certain way, but then it turns out that I'm the opposite. And I noticed that, happening where it's like, when, because at first it's like, of course, because I like her, I want to be what she expects. So like when she mentions certain things, I'll try to be that thing. But then I'm like, but that's not who I am, So I'm pretending to be something I'm not. So it's like, if we're going to be together, I need to be who I really am. So I stopped pretending to be the things that she expected and started being myself. And then, well, we know how that worked out. Things started going opposite direction. The relationship wasn't bad. Never is going to be bad. Not from my side of the equation, because I did my best. Right? I went from pretty much trying to be what she wanted to being who I really am. So if who I really am is what she wants, great. But if it's not, okay, then we go our separate ways. But who I really am isn't bad. It's just that if it's not what she wants, okay, it's not what she wants. That's fair. But it's not fair to me to pretend to be something I'm not. It's like, I can change, I can adapt, I can evolve, right? I can add to my personality, I can add to my wardrobe, I can do things, compromise, right? I can do things to facilitate what she likes, and I care about what she likes because I care about her. But ultimately, I gotta be true to myself, right? It's like if I like to spend more time indoors than outdoors, I gotta make that known up front. Like, I prefer not to go out that much, or even at all. Then that needs to be put out there. Because if she doesn't like it, she doesn't like it. Fair is fair, right? But ultimately, because I love her, right? I care for her. I care that she understands me, and I need to, just because I really like her, I should be honest with her, of course. But at the same time, I shouldn't, because I like her, I shouldn't essentially lie, right? Try to be something that I'm not just because I like her. It's like, oh, I really like her, so I'm gonna pretend to be this type of guy for her. It's like, no, because I'm lying, right? Even though I'm lying with good intentions, I'm still lying, right? It's still a lie, and I rather not. Not only I rather not lie to her, I also rather not lie to myself, because that's just even dumber. It's worse to lie to yourself than to lie to someone else. It's bad to lie to someone else, but it's even worse to lie to yourself. So I'd rather be myself, because the right woman for me is the one that wants the real me, not this imaginary version of me that she expects. I should be able to meet her expectations because who I am should be her expectations. That's what I prefer. I don't want a woman with higher expectations that I will never meet because I'm not at that level to meet those expectations. I'd rather surpass a woman's expectation. I want a woman to expect very little from me, and then I give her a lot. I prefer that. Same thing when it goes to the whole money thing, right? A man, making more money than a woman is because he's going to share. He's going to want to share. He wants to be useful. That's the importance. I don't have a problem with a woman making a lot of money and me not making a lot of money. I'm okay with it because me personally, I don't care about money. Definitely not more than a woman. Woman cares about money more because she's going to spend it and do the things she wants to do. I don't need too much. I'm a minimalist. I prefer less stuff. I don't like having a whole bunch of stuff because that's a whole bunch of stuff I gotta be responsible for and a whole bunch of shit. And I don't use everything. I can have a blender, a microwave, and a rice cooker. If all I use is the microwave, those two other items are pointless. The blender and the rice cooker are pointless if I never use them. So I would hate to have all three items if I only use one out of the three, right? That's just my logic. That's the way I function. But most women want to have all three or more than that. They want to have a whole kitchen full of appliances. All right, you do you, but I'm just going to keep using the microwave. That's all I need. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's the way I view it. So that's why I don't care if a woman makes more money. Fine. Then she can spend all that money and do whatever she wants. That's less money out of my pocket. I'm okay with that. All I ask in return is respect me as a man. Respect me as a man who's useful. My size, my strength, my gender should be a benefit to you. Don't use these factors against me. Oh, you're a man, blah, blah, blah. Let me talk down to you because you're a man. Like, oh, that's not right. Me being a man is a good thing. That means I'm useful. I can lift heavy things. I can reach. I'm a tall guy. I'm almost 6 feet, so I can reach, high places. That's a good thing. It's unfortunate that, me having a penis is a problem. It's like, how me having a penis is a problem? Don't you like penises? I can use it for you if you want. You do get benefits for me having a penis. Why would it be a problem? You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate that that's the world we're living in, where that's a problem. That being a guy is a problem for people, mostly women. It's like, nah, you keep picking the wrong guys who are not yet ready to be a real man, or not yet, or they're just not the one for you. They're not the right guy for you. Not that, oh, just in general. Because guys in general, and women as well, are not going to be one size fits all per se. So you can't expect every guy you date to be the right guy. No. You just need one guy among all those guys to be the right guy. And same goes for us. Right? Not every woman is going to be the right woman. Only one of them will be the right one. I'll use myself as an example. One of the criteria for the right woman for me would be a woman that understands that I have a plan, when it comes to kids and stuff like that. So I expect her to have an understanding that I'm going to want to have kids, mixed kids, different races. So she definitely can't provide me that variety of mixed race, right? So she's going to have to understand that I'm to want to line it up, create a scenario where I will have multiple children of multiple nationalities, because that is something I plan to do, something that I want to do. So if she's willing to accept that and she understands that, great, she's the one, right? If she's against that, well, then she's not the one. That's unfortunate. It'd be wrong for her to think that she is the one, but what I want is wrong. It's like, no. If you're the one, you would agree with me on this thing. Wouldn't disagree with me. You disagreeing with me makes you not the one. That's how that works. There is no you are the one, yet you're against a lot of the things that I want to do. You know what I mean? I can be with just one woman. I have no problem with that. I would, that would make my life easier just to be with one woman in, you know, marriage, relationship, whatnot scenario. But I'm not against being with multiple women. If I end up with multiple women, they all okay with sharing me, you know, having sharing relationship with me and my finances and resources, then I'm okay with it as well. If that happens, that happens. If not, it's not. You know, I mean, it's not unnecessary. I don't need to be in a relationship with multiple women, you know, but I'm not against it. If I could afford it, then, you know, I'm okay with that arrangement. And of course, I expect the women to be also okay with the arrangement, because the arrangement can't happen unless they are into it. They have to agree to it. They have to want that arrangement for that arrangement to happen. You know, I just have to be. The only thing that matters when it comes to me is that I just gotta be okay with it. I mean, it's like, hey, I'm okay with this. I love this arrangement. Bang. You know, I can afford it. Let's do it. But I'd be okay with obviously just one woman. That's all I really need. I'm also okay with, unfortunately, the arrangement of not being with a woman, but I definitely have to have kids. So that's a no-no. I cannot die before I have children. I have to have children, and then after that I can die. Right? So I could be not in a relationship. I could not be with a woman for the rest of my life. But I'd rather have a woman by my side. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not against relationships. I just accept the fact that, you know, if I don't be in a relationship, I'm okay with it. But what I won't be okay with is not having kids. That's what I won't be okay with. And I'm okay being broke. But logically, since I want kids, I can't be broke. So that'd be a contradiction. So since I want kids, I gotta be rich, right? There's that. So, you know, for financial security, right? So financial security, you know, is just as important as physical security, personal security. But, you know, this is going long enough. I talked more about love and relationships than I did about security, but, you know, it's simple. Women, please do learn self-defense. Learn to defend yourself. Don't learn for the purpose of constantly getting into fights. Don't use it as, you know, just, you know, you shouldn't want to fight, but you should be able to fight if need be. You shouldn't be in a situation where you can't defend yourself against the idea of women not being capable of defending themselves. But I am against the idea of women wanting to always fight verbally or physically with men, and then they'll be the same ones to complain about, I'm in an abusive relationship. Oh my God, things are happening to me. Why me? And it's like, because it is you. That's the thing. It is you. You have to take into account that there's a high possibility you are the reason why it's happening. It's not just happening for no reason. You can literally be the reason it's happening. So it's important for you to get yourself out that situation. You know, I've had a scenario where someone was like, they just didn't like my face. And I'm like, okay, I didn't do anything to you, but you don't like my face. All right, fine. Then, you know, I'll do my best to not make eye contact and make sure you can't see me. I'll try to avoid you as much as possible since you have an issue with me, with my face. Like, I ain't doing nothing wrong, but you have a problem with my face, fair enough. There's some people who had a problem with the way I sound, like the sound of my voice. Like, all right, fine. Then I'll just go do what I do elsewhere and, you know, try to make less noise around you, talk less around you. You know, I compromise. And my main thing is that I do my best to compromise, you know. But it's just think about how crazy that is of an idea. It's like, you know, in order for me to avoid a confrontation, a sticky situation as it were, I had to compromise. I had to be like, okay, you have a problem with my face, and it looks like you obviously want to turn this into a physical situation because of it. I'd rather just walk away, and it solves two problems. Solves the whole you don't like my face scenario, and it solves the whole I'm not interested in a fight because I I actually don't have a problem with you. If I had a problem with you, oh yeah, I'm down for the fight. But I don't have a problem with you. I'm not looking to fight, so I'd rather avoid this fight. You know, I'm only gonna fight if I want to, or in extreme situation because I have to, right? But logically, I always rather choose to not be in a physical confrontation. Plus, I consider fighting very childish anyway. You know, especially two grown-ass men punching and grabbing and throwing each other and one on top of the other is like, yeah, very LBGT type of situation there. And it's like, I'd rather not. If I'm going to be physical with somebody, I'd rather be a woman than another grown-ass man on top of me trying to put his hand on my face. Even though it's a fist, still, I don't want him touching me in any shape, way, or form. But that's just my viewpoint on that. But the point is, be safe, love one another, protect one another, protect yourselves. Most importantly, if you truly love yourself, take better care of yourself. You do exist to love others, so what others think of you does matter. So try to compromise. And that's the main thing. This whole like body positivity thing is bullshit. Like that's just so disrespectful. It's like your body is meant for someone else. Your body is the vessel in which you move around, but everybody else has to see you. Everybody else sees you. You don't see yourself. You don't see your butts and your arms and legs, your face, your chest, you don't see large aspects of your body on a daily basis. Other people do. So the way you look matters to others. If you want people to be nice to you, then look nice. Stop looking like shit and then expecting everybody to treat you like a piece of gold or treat you better than what you look. If you look like a crackhead, people will treat you like a crackhead, right? If you look like a lady of the streets, then you'll be treated as such. If you look like a cop, you'll be treated like a cop. If you look like a man who has money, you'll be treated like a man who has money. And the list goes on. It's like looks matter, right? First and foremost, men judge a book by its cover. Women judge a book by its contents. Common sense. You know what I mean? Once you learn that and once you accept that, life is actually easier. Women has a habit of making things complicated. And I just want y'all ladies to stop making it complicated. Start making things easier for yourselves because you're really ultimately only hurting yourself and the human race on top of that, you know, because of the low birth rate, because women are refusing to put in the work to find the right guy to have babies with. They tend to get the wrong guy to have babies with, and they tend to pick the wrong guy so many times that they're like, you know what, screw it, I'm not going to be with guys anymore. And it's like, oh man. So the birth rate's going to drastically drop because of that. You think women will have the logic, or at least try to have the logic, or at least have the emotion of like, you know what, we need more good people in this world. I need to create more good people. Literally, women, y'all have the power to create better men. Literally, with your vagina can create better men and better women. And that's all I'm saying is do better, right? Make better men and women. Literally. You gotta do better, ladies. Y'all have more power when it comes to that than anything else on this planet. You have more power to making the human race better than the past or the current state of the world getting better. You are literally create the future with your vagina. Act like it. Make better decisions. Do better.